This is the Roller Coaster Podcast, and I'm your host, Lucy Q. Life is a wild ride. It has twists and turns. It's scary, exciting, and downright fun. So throw your head back, arms in the air, and come along with me for the ride.
Life is like a roller coaster, baby, baby. I wanna ride.
Okay, before we get started, check out nectargrowth.com. nectargrowth.com. It's free to join, but not for long. Nectar is an extension of the roller coaster. It's where you can start your own journey of self-exploration and growth. In Nectar, you'll find different topics of interest, daily blogs, affirmations, journal prompts, and you can connect with some of the fantastic coaches that have been on the roller coaster. Soon, we'll be adding videos, meditations, live discussions, and events. Our signature course is a journey of self-improvement, and it's valued at $397. But once you join, it's available to you at no cost. So if you're feeling stuck, if you feel like you need to change and not sure where to start with Nectar Growth Network. Come join us. You know you're worth it. Now, let's get on with today's show. Okay, ladies, how many times have you been told that losing weight after 40 is impossible or it's an uphill battle? I know, probably more times than you can count. But is that really true? Joining me today is Janice Moranz MD, who helps women lose weight and regain their health and confidence and enjoy life to the fullest. Hi, Janice.
Hi, nice to see you.
Thank you so much for joining me. And as a woman over 40, in fact, I'm a woman almost touching 50. I know it's not the easiest thing to do is to shift weight. And I know our hormones have a lot to play with that.
Correct.
So what is it that we can do to start to lose that weight without doing any of these insane diets that are out there?
Mm-hmm. Well, basically, it's learning how to eat what I call low glycemic foods. Those are the kind of foods that do not spike your blood sugar. So they would be things that are more whole, whether it be whole grains, whole fruits, vegetables. You can eat just about any kind of protein, fruits or vegetables, and whole grains. So what happens is they do not spike your blood sugar. So when you eat them, your blood sugar will go up because you've eaten, but it goes up in a gradual, nice, controlled way. And it doesn't spike. It just goes up. And then as time goes by, it goes back down. The reason that's important is when your blood sugar spikes, your pancreas has to put out a lot of insulin. And insulin circulating in your body stores fat. So you don't really want a lot of insulin coming out of the pancreas. Instead, the pancreas has a different hormone called glucagon. And if you get your blood sugar going up slowly and controlled, then your pancreas can put out glucagon, and glucagon releases fat.
So does that, if I'm focusing I'm vegetarian, so, my protein mix is a little bit different from other people. Sure. But say, if I'm focusing on those low glycemic foods,
Mm-hmm.
so that's not anything like, it's not like a rice or a pasta or anything like that.
Well, brown rice is okay because it's not so processed as white. It's more whole. And pasta if you get the whole grain or the kind that's made from vegetables, those would be okay. It's just the ones that are made from the processed white wheat.
Basically, yeah, anything white is been processed too much. So
Right.
if I'm eating those, if I start focusing my diet on those foods, then because my pancreas is not then putting out the insulin, then it's going to trigger my body to lose weight.
Yes, well, the insulin stores fat. So if you don't have the insulin circulating, you won't keep putting it on and keeping it. Instead, your pancreas can put out glucagon, and glucagon lets your body release fat.
Okay, interesting. And you know, what role do vitamins play in all of this? Because you're always, I mean, there's always, some new vitamin that we're all supposed to be taking. Everyone has to take A, or everyone has to do this, everyone has to do that. But what role does that actually play in all of this?
So every cell in your body needs an optimal amount of vitamins and minerals. So just as an example, when the vitamin says, oh, we have the RDA, the recommended daily amount that you need. Well, those came out of I can't never remember if it's World War I or II, but the idea was that they would provide enough vitamins and minerals for the soldiers to not have a deficiency disease. Like a deficiency of vitamin D would cause rickets. A vitamin D deficiency of C would cause scurvy. And then if you have not enough vitamin B, you get like beriberi. Well, so they made these very low amounts that were the minimum so that you would not get a deficiency disease. But our cells do much better if they don't have that minimum amount, but if they have the optimal amount. So because we have so much problems now with like soil deficiency of the vitamins and minerals and a lot of pollution and things like that, you really can't get the optimal amount of all the vitamins and minerals that you need by eating even good stuff. Because like an example is an orange that you eat now. In order to make the amount of vitamin C that you would have gotten in like 1900, you'd have to eat 6 oranges.
Yes.
Well, no one can eat that much stuff. I mean, that's just one example. You'd have to eat 30 pounds of spinach a day. And of course, nobody can do that. And nobody does that. And you can't. So the vitamins and minerals that you get in a supplement, a good supplement, will make up for any deficiencies that you might have by not being able to eat that much food every day.
Yeah, because a lot of people think, I'm eating a carrot, I'm getting my vitamins. But that old adage of an apple a day keeps a doctor away, as you said, that may have worked in the 1900s. But what people don't realize is that because of mass farming and, the movement away from crop rotations, that our soil has actually been stripped of a lot of the nutrients that the vegetables need to absorb to then pass on to us.
Right.
And, it's like what you said, it's a carrot or a spinach is no longer what spinach used to be. It's a watered down version of it.
Mm-hmm. And you still want to eat it. It's still good, but you may not be getting all of the vitamins and minerals that you need just from food.
Yeah. And I've been told that pretty much anybody north of the equator has a vitamin D deficiency.
And that seems to be becoming, more and more true as doctors order vitamin D levels for people and they find out that they're deficient. So I'm actually a dermatologist, so I don't tell people, oh, go out in the sun, because the sun will cause skin cancer. So I'm a proponent of supplementing vitamin D.
Yeah. I mean, I have red hair and I am very, very pale.
Mhm.
So the
No,
sun, as much as I love to be out in the fresh air in the sun, it's not exactly my friend.
right.
And my doctor actually told me, he said, don't pay any attention to the dose on the bottle. He says, take at least, because the vitamin D is like a little tiny pill. He said,
Mhm.
take at least 2 or 3 a day.
Well, and that depends on how many
With the IUD,
units
I always
there
call
are.
them IUDs, but they're
Units I use.
IUs.
I use, right.
Yeah, that I always get that one mixed up. Yeah, it obviously depends on, the dose that you're getting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a major problem. And another mineral that I heard has a lot to do with healthy weight is magnesium.
Yes. Magnesium goes along with calcium and vitamin D. So in order to get those three absorbed, they need to be taken like together. So like you can get tablets that are both vitamin C with magnesium and with vitamin D. They don't get absorbed very well, like just by themselves. So yeah, those you do need. And the magnesium also helps people with sleep. It helps, it's like a relaxing kind of thing, stress. And also, it can, if you have constipation, like milk of magnesia has always been used for that. So magnesium does help with keeping you regular. But, just it's the same thing. You want to take the correct amount, not too much and not just the minimum.
Right. Now, what about water? Because that's another big one that we hear as a part of weight loss. And some places it tells you you've got to drink 8 ounce glasses a day. And then other places are telling you that it's a percentage of your body weight that you have to consume in water. So it's really confusing for somebody to understand, okay, how much water do I actually need a day?
So I usually go by, I take like your weight and then cut that in half, and that's how many ounces would be good. And of course, it can vary. Some days you might take less, some days you could take more, but you can overdo it so that you're just diluting everything, so you don't want to do too much, but about half of your weight in ounces.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Another thing that's important too is to make sure you're getting electrolytes. Because if you take a lot of water and it doesn't have any electrolytes in it, it's almost like a watered down water. And you can get cramps from not having enough potassium and that
How,
kind of thing.
how can we make our water have electrolytes in it then?
I have a product that I use that's is electrolytes, and it has in it what you need. It's like a powder that you add to one of your waters a day, and it has like a very mild watermelon flavor. So
Okay.
most people like it. I've heard people say it's like too salty or too sugary. And I found that when you put it in a small amount of water, like only 8 ounces, that will happen. But if you put it in like a 16.9 ounce, actual bottle of water, it makes it so that it doesn't taste salty, it doesn't taste sweet. And the watermelon taste is just like a background thing. just makes it so you're not just drinking plain old water. But it's much better than, like, say, Gatorade.
Yeah, because I think he was a physical trainer,
Mhm.
said to put a pinch of sea salt and a pinch of, I want to say, baking soda in your water.
Well, the
I don't know if
salt,
that would give electrolytes.
well, the salt will give you the sodium electrolyte, but you need the sodium and potassium and iodine and it's probably the main things. So this, so the salt will just give you the sodium.
The sodium, yeah, because iodine is important for your thyroid function, isn't it?
Mhm. Yep, it sure
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, that's something. And I know a lot of women that end up having thyroid problems. I've been hypoactive since I was, I don't know, 23. So
Me too.
it's,
I think it was, for me, it's a genetic thing because my mom and my sister, both had that. And so I've been on thyroid medication, for a long time too. I think I was more like 30 maybe when I started it, but
yeah, no, it makes a difference too.
Mhm.
What about, there's a lot of controversy over, how many meals you should be eating or how frequently you should be eating. And then you've got people that, tout fasting and all of that. How does, I know we've got the what you eat component, but how often you eat, how does that play into it?
So in general, people should eat something, even if it's small, about every 3 hours. So if you consider breakfast, a little snack between breakfast and lunch, a little snack between lunch and then dinner, then you're eating about every 3 to 4 hours, which is good in that it keeps your metabolism going. Your body doesn't think you're in starvation mode, which makes you hold on to fat. Now, that works for a lot of people. But if they've been doing that and it's not working, then it's okay to try the intermittent fasting, which really all that is saying, like, I'm going to eat dinner at 5 or 6, and I'm not going to eat anything after that. And then when you get up in the morning, say it's 8, when you would have water or your breakfast. So that's 14 hours of fasting. So it's not, I mean, you don't want to fast like a 24-hour fast, because that is what puts you into that starvation mode. Your body has no idea when they're going to be getting any more fuel. And so the body wants to hold on to the fat. So fasting is okay if it's not too many hours. And then, you want to break your fast 8 o'clock, or it could even be a little bit later. But the point is, you still want to eat during the day, because that's when you need your energy, and that's when you want your metabolism to be going. When you don't eat, you often will slow down your metabolism. And again, you want your metabolism to be going faster so that it can get rid of fat.
And that switch, we'll call it, from, either keeping your fat or your body being able to let go of it, how easy or how quickly does that switch flip?
I think it's a little bit different for different people, but I would say less than a week if you really, stick to it, and you'll be able to see in that amount of time if that switch was helping or not helping.
Does that mean, like, if you fall off the wagon and you have a piece of chocolate cake one night because you're out for dinner, does that mean that the switch is flipped back and you have to wait another week for it to go? or is your body a little more forgiving?
Yeah, it's much more forgiving. Yeah, usually you can get back on track with your very next meal.
Okay.
But of course, I also try to help people to say, oh, yes, you can have the chocolate cake, especially if it's, special occasion. But try having either a very small piece or take a couple of forkfuls and then push it away, share it with somebody else. And if you do that, then your body will allow you to have that occasionally instead of not really being on a good way of eating that is going to help you lose weight.
What about exercise?
So I am of the opinion that you don't have to go to the gym and spend hours and hours. 90% of losing weight is what you put in your mouth. So if you're on a good amount of, protein, carbohydrates that are not processed, and good fats, you can probably get away with just like 30 minutes of walking 3 to 5 days a week. So that's not so bad. I mean, you have a pet, they want to be walked anyway. If you're listening to music, I know you can start with 15 minutes and then just gradually work up to like 30 minutes. But the more you do, the more calories you will burn, but you have to burn an awful lot of calories to make up for putting things in your mouth that are processed.
Yeah, I mean, all you have to do is, if I have a treadmill that tells you, I mean, I know it's an approximate, but it tells you approximately how many calories you're burning. And I mean, you could be walking for 15 minutes and it's only saying that you've burnt, 80 calories or whatever. And you're like, but that piece of cake was 5 times that.
Yeah. You can't nobody really has the time to spend as much time exercising as it would to make up for eating processed things that spike your blood sugar.
Yeah. And I mean, I can remember when I was younger being able to work out for much longer than I am now. I mean,
right. You have the whole, thing with age. You don't have as much energy. Of course, there's things we can do to try to fix that too. But, and people have other things to do. It's not like you can just go to the gym and be there for 5 hours. So you do want to move your body, and just beginning by walking, like I said, about 30 minutes, 3 to 5 times a week will keep your body moving. And you can add things after that if you wanted to do like Pilates or yoga and things like that. Something that you can do for, half an hour at a class, but you don't have to like live at the gym. And
it's different for men than it is for women to lose weight. It's totally different.
Yeah, it does seem to be that men lose weight easier.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my husband, we've been through various, eating phases, we'll call them. And anytime that, we'd start to get focused and start to lose weight, he could do almost nothing. And he's losing 5 pounds a week. And it's just like, and I'm losing like 5 ounces a week. So I think there's definitely, but I mean, our bodies are different. We have different hormones, and, men's bodies have the testosterone and they're meant to build muscle. Whereas, women's bodies, they're a little bit different.
Right. We do have testosterone, but not as much. But then again, and men, as they get older, they lose a lot of testosterone, which is why you see all the ads for testosterone.
Yes, all those ads.
Yeah.
No, Janice, you have a lot of information to share with people in regards to their health and wellness. Where's the best place for people to connect with you?
let's see. I don't have an actual website. It's more like a blog. And it's still kind of new. And I did put in your questionnaire the way to get to it. But I think that, calling or texting or emailing me is fine. Because there's a lot of things I can send over email, a lot of information, recipes, lists of good carbs and bad carbs, and good fats and bad fats. So my email is very easy. It's just my name, if you spell it right. JANICE MORA, N as in Nancy, Z as in zebra, at Comcast.net. And then my phone number, or you can text me either way, is 505-417-3787.
Perfect.
There's so much technology that sometimes we make people jump through.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's like, I don't see the need for that. If they want to contact me, that'd be great.
Perfect. Well, if you're listening and you're looking at connecting with Janice, make sure you check out the show notes. I'm going to have all of her details in there. And Janice, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, you're totally welcome. I'd love to be able to share with people.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Roller Coaster Podcast. Want to chat or share your ideas about today's show? Pop me an email at hello@therollercoasterpodcast.com. Don't forget to connect with me on Facebook and Instagram at The Roller Coaster Podcast. Our theme song, Roller Coaster, was performed by The Lucky Setback. Audio editing by the one and only Jeff Quigley of Quigley Creator.
Life is like